Happy New Year and welcome to another episode of 8 Bits. I'm DJ. We joined as always by itmeJP, and we ended 2013 on a high note, talked about some of our favorite games and how quickly, JP, we now jump into 2014. I'm looking forward to today because I'm hoping that we'll be able to open up the phones a little bit. Otherwise, what's up, man? How are things?
Things are good. I was just kind of reading over the news, and there's actually been some news that kind of broke this morning, so we'll actually have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because, like, there was actually nothing before today.
For a while. Right.
There's definitely not any games coming out anytime soon, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there was definitely not that much going on. I mean, in terms of game releases. Now, you actually, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but there was something on your list that I'm a little interested in. I know it comes out in February. I didn't even know there was a demo for it. So we're going to jump into all that. Hopefully, maybe, I want to try to see if I can get some predictions out of you, JP. I always used to love to do that on Epileptic Gaming, just sort of be like, what do you think will happen here in the year 2014? And with the new consoles coming out, and of course with the PC stuff really taking off, and I don't know. I think we could maybe come up with some good predictions. And then the other thing is, I'd love to open up the phone lines.
definitely, I think we should.
Yeah.
By the way, your camera went 4x3 for some reason.
I noticed that. I was going to finish my little...
I know.
There we go.
I'll let you finish.
We're back in the 21st century. 16:9.
I don't know why I did that.
So, I mean, did you have a good New Year? I know we...
Yeah, one of the games, I mean, I guess we could just start because what I did on New Year's was one of the games that I'll end up talking about, which...
Do it.
I guess to preface this, I had played PlanetSide 2 back when it was back towards like the end of the beta and when it was actually coming out. I don't know when that was, though. It seems like it was almost a year ago. Seems like it was a long time ago.
I mean, wasn't it in beta for a while? I mean, it
was in beta for like 2 or 3 months.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. And I actually played a lot of it in the beta. My roommate actually plays like every single day. He's almost do what?
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah. He's almost to BR 100, which is like the top level in the game. I think he's probably got like 600-700 hours in the game. But I always see him playing it, and I've never gone back after playing it at launch. And I think the biggest reason was that it always just ran like shit on whatever machine I threw it at. Because the game's was not optimized. But they've actually improved the game like tenfold. They've redone a ton of shit. All the bases are like completely different from what I can tell on each of the worlds. And the game's actually incredibly optimized. I get like 120 FPS in non-fights, and in fights it never drops below 60. Which is actually pretty impressive when a game of that scale can do that. And I think they even have more optimization coming.
All right, let me drop a question on JP, like for reals, right? I play Quake, I log in, I play a 20-minute deathmatch game. I feel accomplished because either I won or I lost, but I killed some guys, and or I play Unreal, is the same thing. Even like Team Fortress or Counter-Strike Go, like what is the appeal? Like if someone's just like a lone gunman coming into something like this,
right?
Well, like what do you do to feel accomplished in this game? Or does the progression lend to you constantly feeling accomplished? I guess I'm just so disconnected as far as that's concerned.
I think what the game does in terms of accomplishments is it's constantly giving you like positive reinforcement, and the fact that you might not level up every time you play session-wise. You definitely will if you start out when you start out, but the ranks start to come slower and slower, as most things do in level progression-based systems. But they introduce a thing called certifications, and certifications are what you use to buy different things in the game. The game's been out for a while, so I won't go too deep, but you can get probably like, I don't know.
Like to use a certain rifle, you have to get X certification, or to use a class of gun,
or you can buy them with real money. That's one of the options. If you want to skip all that stuff and just be like, I want this gun with this armor with that so and so, and I want it now. You can buy it all for real money. But to get like 200 certs, I think it only takes like an hour or two. They really have that kind of down, and it makes sense. But I don't think the single player experience, or the solo player, I should say, experience in this game is. It's probably the worst part about this game, in my opinion. I that's one of the reasons why I could never get into it. I would play it for 5 minutes, and I just wouldn't have fun. What's fun about it is when you're with either a couple friends or like you guys decide to join like this a giant platoon, which is
Right.
48 people, and you guys decide that you're going to load up 4 galaxies, which are like the giant ass ships, and go um, drop a base behind enemy lines, like take the base, and then like watch the enemy come and fight you. And then it actually just like affects the entire game because they obviously want that back, and the fight gets larger and larger. And I think that's kind of the big appeal, is that
Okay. Okay.
the game is just fucking massive, and like
So,
these fights happen.
will you
It's just crazy.
surprise like a group of people this way, and then of course then all the reinforcements come and flood in? Is that
Yeah.
sort of the sequence of it? Okay.
I think that's probably like the coolest part of the game. The other cool part that a lot of people don't really expect is that it's actually a really good shooter. The net code is really fucking good. Like if you actually shoot someone, you shoot someone. They don't like it's not like Battlefield 4's shitty net code where you can shoot someone, but on their screen they're actually like behind a wall. Like
Right.
if you get shot in this game, you know why you died.
Huh.
You understand why and how you died.
Well, I mean that's super important for any shooter, obviously. But
Yeah.
So what kind of class do you like? What sort of role do you prefer to play then?
I was playing medic the other night. I also was playing infiltrator, which is kind of like the sniper. Sniping's not like sniping's not as effective in that game. It's definitely more of a solo type experience. But medic's actually fun. Like you can go and res people. I had the highest or quickest the best upgraded medic toolkit, so I could res people in like I think it's like a second and a half or something. And you can get a lot of points for obviously doing that as much as a kill. So you can kind of
Right.
point with that. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. And there's a lot of like different like strategies, I guess you could call them, or tactics that people in the PlanetSide 2 world have figured out. Like max crashing is one of them that's been used for ages, where everyone loads up into these giant like mech suits, and you basically all attack a building at once, trying to like overrun the enemy. They've also done some cool stuff with the level design. So one of the things that I didn't know about is, and I don't know what type of bases have these, but to get from like one side of the base to the other, most of the time you had to walk there, you had to fly there, and it would take a
Right.
pretty good amount of time. Now, like underneath the bases near the spawn, you can actually like jump in this teleporter thing, and it like slingshots you from one end of the base to the other, and it gets you there in like 4 or 5 seconds. So you can do like a big ass attack in like a matter of seconds just by telling everyone to jump in there and go through. Um, Communication in that game is actually probably the most important thing. Like even if you can't shoot someone 5 feet in front of you, if you can talk on a mic and understand orders and all that stuff, you're actually going to have like a good time, because
Nice.
that's all it is.
Nice.
Maggie was kind of like leading us around because obviously I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
I have
And-
no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, and people were listening to her, and it was actually a lot of fun playing with friends. But I still think like the solo player experience in that game is not the best. It's definitely not the best, and I don't know if that's even something
Right.
they should work on, because I think like if you go into a game like that, you should expect to play with people.
Right. No, I mean, I feel like that I've never gotten anything different from that game. I've never looked at that game and gone, "Oh, I bet that would be a great game to play by myself." So that could be one of the reasons why I haven't actually picked it up. But glad you're having fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go back and play this weekend. I think I've been playing NC on Waterson, which is what I started with, but I'm only like BR20, which is not very high. So I think I'm going to play. Maggie plays Vanu Sovereignty on some other server, so I might actually just like try the other race, I guess you could say. They don't actually differ too much. They just have a couple specific suns, and they're purple instead of blue and gold. So, so I might play some of them this weekend.
Word.
But it's pretty.
So I finally got my Xbox One, and I should have actually disconnected so I could show it. It's it's engraved and everything. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, it has DJ. Does you have the
has the
DJ?
Twitch logo, and it has my name down there.
Nice.
But I got to tell you, man, the Xbox One starting experience was really miserable for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and I seriously, I don't have my fanboy hat on at all. I'm going to tell you my out of the box experience, which, setting it up, everything was fine. The power pack, all that stuff, whatever, it all as intended. And I fired on for the first time JP and do all the normal stuff, get it connected to the network, immediately does an update. Everything seems to be going well.
Yeah.
So I bust out Rise first, and I go to what?
Did you download it, or is this disc?
It was the disc.
Okay.
It was a disc.
Okay.
So I go to put the disc in, and it won't take the disc, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I recall back to reading a thread about someone being like, my drive was dead, and I got it, and I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ. So I fiddle with it a little bit, still won't take it in. I finally shut it down, launch it again, and it takes my disc. I'm like, okay, crisis averted. So Xbox and I guess all forms of cloud computing have this really cool thing where it's like, we'll load your game.
Yeah.
And then when it's like a partially loaded, then we're going to let you play it.
Yep.
Great. So Rise is sitting there. I'm watching the bar. I'm getting all excited. Finally says ready to play. I go to launch it, and my fucking Xbox just shuts down. Like, it maybe sometimes it would go to the Microsoft Studio screen, and they would just poof.
What the hell?
And I'm like, dude, what the actual fuck? I tried this like 9 times, the same result every time. Sometimes it would make it further. Sometimes the Rise screen would come up and then it would fail. Sometimes it would get to the second Rise screen and then fail. So,
what the hell?
So I'm like, I fucking give up. The next day, I tried Dead Rising 3, and this time I'm like, I will just let it install all the way.
Disc or download?
The disc.
Okay.
But it's still like, what the fuck is it doing, dude? It took no shit like 2.5 hours to load Dead Rising.
It takes a while, yeah.
That's a long time. Like, I suffered through some pretty gnarly shit on the PlayStation 3, but I don't think anything that long.
Yeah.
And I don't remember us having anything that long during the PlayStation 4 launch either.
No, it's been proven. Like, people have recorded the times. The Xbox One is incredibly slow when it comes to downloading and installing the games compared to that. Like, we're talking like PS4 is like 3-4 minutes. Xbox One's like 30-40 minutes. Like,
that's insane.
Some of the maybe that's a little bit off, but I know the install times are incredibly long. Like, when I got mine on day one, what was the first game I jumped in? It might have been Forza.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it took me like 2 hours before I was playing a game. And like 30 or 40 minutes of that was like just sitting there watching something install.
I mean, that's kind of what I felt like. Now, the good news is that once I fully installed both games, everything worked fine.
They worked.
But as an out of a box, first experience, I was really like, dude, whoa, what is going on here? I can only imagine, what would happen if just someone else had that experience.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I never got around to playing Rise, but I did play Dead Rising 3. I really feel like I need to bring Dan back on to question his picking of Dead Rising 3 over The Last of Us.
It actually popped up on a lot of lists.
Well,
you're saying specifically over The Last of Us.
Well, over The Last of Us. I mean, there's no doubt, like, it's been an entertaining game. There's several things about it I don't particularly like. But I do what?
Like what?
Well, so let me talk about what I do like. I love the fact that I can create items in the world. Like, this is something that I feel like in Dead Rising 2 they nailed the actual crafting, but then the ability to, hey, we're gonna let you do it, right there as you pick up the items is really great. So here's my biggest problem is that the game, I feel like, take these prompts for granted, right? Hey, you're about to move on to the next fucking area. Are you sure that you want to move on right now? Because in this game, like, you start off and there's all this shit to collect, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over here. I do this little side quest, and they're like, yo, go talk to the bitch back at the junkyard. So I go to her, and then it like advances the story, and I miss out on all this stuff. And so I actually had to restart the game because, I'm like, I didn't want to miss all that stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna return into that fucking place. Like,
Right.
like I felt like there was a little lack of direction that made me essentially restart the game.
I'm trying to remember, like, do you actually miss out on stuff for progressing forward? Like, you can go back to any part of the city, right?
Well, as far as I know, you can reset a chapter, keeping your level, but then resetting everything in the level. So I haven't played enough of the game, JP. Maybe you do go back there.
But, I don't think you go back there. Like, you might go back there story wise. I haven't beaten the game. Like, I haven't actually turned on my PS4 or Xbox One since like the first week of December. But
yeah,
like I think you can go anywhere in that world at any time you want.
Yeah. So okay. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But I mean, like, I was so scared that I missed all this shit that I restarted the game because there was no indication that I was gonna. And I also felt like I got my ass kicked so bad in the second chapter that because I missed all that shit, I was actually at a disadvantage. Anyway, the other thing I hate about this game, which isn't anything new with the Dead Rising games, but the fucking AI is so goddamn fucking stupid, and it's frustrating as fuck to play any sort of fucking game like that, where the outcome of the game can rely on the survival or the depth of these NPCs.
You mean the humans, like the player character or the NPCs?
They're fucking dumb as fuck, JP. Just God fucking damn it.
I haven't run into. Well, I haven't played the game long enough to know if I have run into bad NPC design, but I think what you need to do is in the first area you should go and try to get the ultimate Grim Reaper Sith thing. There's 4 blueprints that spawn in that first area, and you actually will like.
I did get like 4 different. Is it the one that shoots all the skulls out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that one.
Oh, you should just always use that weapon. It's like broken as shit.
Yeah, the one.
You can just like hit X and it refills the weapon so it never breaks, and then you hit Y and it just kills everything around you.
Oh, I didn't know that X refills it.
Yeah, that's why it's broken, because like you can always just hit Y.
Ah, okay.
So you just go get like 2 of those and you can just kill like you can get like 1,000-point combo right off the bat. Right. That'll help with like you'll get to like dumb levels of overpoweredness. You can get level 50 in like 2 hours of just doing that.
No. The game does look good. The amount of zombies that there are on screen is really impressive. I like the fact that it's sort of a different city atmosphere. It does have a lot of the same spirit as the previous Dead Rising game. Has it totally blown my mind? Not necessarily, but it's been a good game so far. Like, I put 4 or 5 hours into it. I haven't like rushed to go back into it.
Yeah, I haven't played it since before Thanksgiving break. I wasn't that enthralled in that game, or really anything. Like, I beat Rise. That's the only game that I've beaten on the Xbox One. And I actually had a pretty good time with Rise. You should try that.
I'll play that one. I also know that one's short and sweet. So
did you pick up Peggle 2?
No,
I haven't picked it. I probably won't, but I haven't picked it up just because it's more Peggle. Like, if you enjoyed Peggle, then buy Peggle 2. But I don't know. Like, Dead Rising 3 was I think it's definitely, well, I don't know if it's definitely, but it's one of the best like current next gen titles for sure. But that actually says that like there's nothing to play on next gen
Yeah,
titles.
it's very true right now, man. Like, I mean, the next wave can't come soon enough. So,
March is the big month. March is the big month for games to play. But did you play anything else on your Xbox One?
no. I mean, I fucked around with the camera. I do have to say I'm impressed with the quality and
Yeah, the
the
Kinect is
wide
pretty good.
angle of the Kinect. It's goddamn beefy, man. That thing is just a beast. But beyond that,
Yeah,
I'm really not a fan of the interface, and
yeah.
maybe I need to be that Windows 8 guy and sort of be into their
Oh,
whole.
I hate the interface too.
Yeah,
Did
not
you
a
use the
fan.
voice commands at all?
Yeah, I screwed around with them. They're definitely far more responsive than the PlayStation ones.
Yeah,
In terms of voice recognition, there's no doubt that Microsoft is sort of leading the charge. The only thing that I would say is better, actually, hands down is better, is the voice recognition on like the my Nexus 7 Android tablet is just fucking remarkable. And I think that's
yeah.
all through Google, but
Yeah, I think TB was talking about that. Like he like dictated an entire email
yeah, it's
through
so
the Nexus 7
it's
voice.
it's so I can't. It's hard to explain, JP, but it's something to do with like the sheer delay. Like you can almost measure between my smart TV and the PlayStation 4 and the Google Voice and the Xbox One, like when you press this button or you say something, how quickly it's sort of responding to you. And I think that my smart TV is the worst. PlayStation is probably the second worst, and then like iOS, Xbox, and Android.
Yeah,
But it's cool. I still, I guess I just get in this, like, I don't use the voice commands. Like, the reason I use it on the tablet is because I'm like, boom, I can hit a button and just be like, whatever, Street Fighter 2 moves list. And
yeah.
just like, boom, it's there. The whole, like, go left, next page, number 3. Like, that's not, it's not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, before we move on, I do want to say the Playroom for PlayStation 4 actually got some new updates for free. So
Oh, I'll check that out. Yeah.
if you want to play with Mini Wheat, I think they've got some new stuff in there. I don't know
Right
what
on.
it is, but
Good to know.
I just know that there was some free updates for that over the break. What do I want to talk about next?
What do you want to talk about
I
next?
guess we could talk about DayZ, and I think the last time, no, it was before the 2013 break. I think it might have been, no, it was the last episode where I talked about DayZ
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
and how how broken that game was, like how I mean it's alpha, super early alpha, but I've actually been playing it a lot this week. I probably
By
put
the
in
way,
like 10
sorry.
hours.
Do you have any YouTube vids with Daisy?
I mean, just not anything from standalone. It's
Okay.
all stuff from the mod. Like
Okay.
we have like I just call it the moment where like me, Destiny, and Kyle are playing, and like me and Destiny bring the guys up to the tower, and like Kyle takes a shot from like a mile away and like kills them. Like it's one of the best moments in video games I've ever had. It's incredible. I that is why, like, to bring this back around to the current standalone mod, like the reason why DayZ is fun is because of the social aspects of DayZ. Like, there is no other game, and this kind of ties into Twitch. And I think that without Twitch, the game would be infinitely less fun
Right. Right.
because, like, it's a great game to watch because everyone has a different experience and everyone has a different crazy thing fucking happen to them. But there's things like Music Guy, which is just this guy that follows people around, follows streamers, like gets into their servers,
And plays
and
music.
just like plays hilarious music and like has the conversations with streamers, and just like crazy shit happens when this guy's around. And there's one I was watching Father Son Gaming last night, which is a fucking hilarious channel. It's a 17-year-old son and a 57-year-old father or something like
Right.
that playing video games together, and they were playing DayZ, and like this guy named Tyrone just comes up, and all Tyrone does is just punches people. and he says, "I'm Tyrone." He just like walks around
I've
and
seen
punches
videos
people.
of that guy before.
And he's fucking hilarious. Like it spawns these weird people. I wouldn't call them weird, but like these interesting people that just pop into streams just to fuck with you. And there's people called the stream bandits, right? And it's not lyrics, the bean bandits or whatever, but the stream bandits don't have a stream, but they come around and they have this like train song, and they're basically stream snipers, but they like went full on with this stream sniping. And they'll like start playing creepy music and shit when they're around you and like fuck with you on stream, and then they'll just end up killing you. But like that shit's great. Sure, it's fucking annoying when it happens to you, but like thinking back, there's no other game where that shit happens.
Right.
It's only in DayZ that shit can happen.
This conversation continues to keep popping up here on the show because we've had this. We've talked about that lack of freedom in games.
Yeah.
And like it's amazing to me that these games they pop out. It's amazing to me, JP, that more game developers don't realize that
it's incredibly hard to do.
It is incredibly hard to do. You're right. You're absolutely right. But I feel like if more people put an effort towards that, then then we'd have even greater works. Stuff. And not saying like there's anything wrong, but I've talked about Ultima Online so many times, and DayZ is sort of like the 21st century Ultima Online. Because of the level of freedom it has. The only thing it's missing is sort of it being one scale larger than DayZ is right now.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, don't buy the game right now or expect to jump in and like have these moments of craziness occur, because first you got to get there. You got to get to wherever all this shit's happening, which they've moved all the spawns to the East Coast. I think there's one spawn in Electro right now, which doesn't happen. It's very rare. The other thing is like getting past the fucking menu or like the controls, which are just completely batshit insane. Like it's just the worst shit ever. The inventory is like god fucking awful. Just it's literally the worst ever. But if you can get past all that shit, like this past week I like spawned super far East Coast, and usually you can kill yourself to like get a better spawn. But I decided just to go like west, and I ended up finding a military camp, and for like 2.5 hours, it was me like going into these cities and like raiding the cities, getting a bunch of ammo, getting all these guns. Like I had a fully decked out character, and I basically like walked the entire like did a circle through the middle of the map, and it took like 2.5 hours. It was incredibly intense because the entire time, like the places that I was going were like hot spots in the game, where there's always people that are going to just be sitting in a bush, waiting for someone to come by and waiting to kill them. And I never got killed, so I ended up at this airfield.
Did you see a lot of people though?
Oh yeah, well I saw like 4 or 5 people, and it was mostly like I saw them in the distance. Then I like hit the deck and just like waited for them to leave. Or like I saw people behind a wall or like coming down a tower, and I was just like, fuck this, and just like took off bolting the other way. But I ended up going to this airfield in the south, in Balota, for people that know or play. And there was like this guy at the top of the tower, and eventually I got into the tower, and when I got into the tower, there was like at least 30 bodies in there. And the bodies don't disappear anymore in the game. There's 30 dead people in this fucking building. It's a very small building. There's maybe like 2 floors and then a top area. And all of them are like super decked out. Like have all the best items in the game. All of them fucking have guns. It's just like a war zone of death. And I'm like the only guy standing at the top of this thing, like looting through people. Granted, I already had all the like best stuff in the game that you can get. And as I'm like looting through all these bodies, this guy like logs in next to me. And so like whenever I talk in game, I use the Bubba voice from R&D just because it's fun. And so like I like point my gun at this guy, and I'm like, hey, don't fucking do anything. You can loot whatever the fuck you want, but then get the fuck out of here. And he's like standing up, and I'm on the ground, like prone. And so like I just have my gun. He's like, oh, okay, don't shoot, don't like shoot. And he's like looking through all the bodies, like, what the fuck happened here? And I'm just like, dude, it was a fucking war zone. Like
Like,
shit.
well, son, I killed all these motherfuckers.
Yeah, and he like super nice guy, like had no intentions from what I could tell of
Well,
wanting to
that's
kill me.
good. That's
And
good.
then like all of a sudden, like 10 seconds after this conversation transpires, you just hear like this like barrage of shots come from somewhere. And instead of like it didn't hit either of us. I think it hit the windows or something. But instead of being like, "Oh shit, we got to get out of here." I just fucking start running and I kill the guy as I'm running down the stairs. And I'm just like, "Shit, fucking get out. Like we got to go. We got to go."
Uh,
And he just like falls to the ground. And then I like end up hunting this guy for like 30 minutes where it's me just like sitting behind a corner, like checking out the tree line. I never end up finding that particular guy, but like only in DayZ can this shit happen. Only can these moments exist where
all
it's
right,
like
now one final
insane
question
levels
then.
of intense.
With those things, like I noticed a couple comments in chat, people saying, yeah, there's also the 3 hours of like
Oh,
virtually
exactly.
nothing. So
I mean, for example, at the same time while I was doing this, while I was in this airfield, I was playing with Caitlin on stream, and her first 3 hours of DayZ were running down a fucking road for 3 hours. There's a bug in the game where if you sprint too long in one direction, the server can't keep up with your position in game, so it'll actually teleport you back like 300 or 500 yards prior to where you currently are in the game. So you lose all of your progress every now and then in terms of where you are in the game. So like that was her first impression, and she had like no interaction with anyone, and was just asking me
wow.
questions like she's like, "Well, how do I go? How do I go third person?" I'm like, "Well, you have to hit enter on your numpad." And she's like, "What the fuck? Well, I don't have a numpad." I was like, "Well, I guess you're gonna have to rebind all these keys because like
Oh my God, yeah, like no 10. Oh Jesus,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
hilarious.
she's got like a
That's
10 key
freaking
mechanic."
hilarious.
And I was just like, "Well, shit, you're kind of fucked." Like there's moments like that where it's not fun at all. It's literally running simulator 2014. Like
All
you're just
right.
doing nothing. But like those 4 hours make those 30 minutes, or those 30 minutes make those 4 hours worth it, in my
Worthwhile,
opinion.
right? No, I
Because
mean
it's intense as shit.
that's an It's the same thing I used to feel about Ultima Online. You know, we'd play for 5 to get that adrenaline rush for 20 minutes, and then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, fucking greatest thing ever. So
It's
it's probably not a game that I'll play until it's on full release, and I would like to see it expand a little bit more. Like, I
right.
mean, in
And
terms
that's
of
it's probably like a year and a half away from
yeah,
release.
yeah,
Like I think they've said that beta's in like 6 to 9 months, which if you think about like it's a fucking long way away. The other crazy thing about the game is how much it sold. It never left the number one spot all Christmas break, and it was never on sale. I mean, he's gotten like at least for sure $1 million in sales.
oh, good for
Uh,
him.
so good for him, yeah, yeah. Because prior to that, he was making. I'm sure the Arma guys gave him some sort of a cut when it was just the mod. Because Arma 2 did the same thing where it was just always number one on Steam. But yeah, DayZ's a very interesting game, and I want to see like there's other games popping up that are trying to emulate what it's doing. Nether,
Right.
for example, and Rust. While they're not mainly focused on the same thing as DayZ, they're trying that. And so I want to see these are mostly indie titles or devs without AAA funding. Like I would love to see a AAA game with funding be able to do something like that, but
Yeah.
we probably never will, to be honest.
Rust looks really cool, but I'm worried that it's like so early access. Like so early access. And it's just like, you know what? I was even talking about this on my stream the other day, like, how betas sometimes can ruin a game. And people are like, why don't you play Hearthstone anymore? And I'm like, like I got so demotivated after the game wiped that, like I don't want to like grind through all that
Redraw.
shit again.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
it's like, and I did that to myself. There's nothing wrong with the game. That might change when like the iOS, iPad port comes out. In fact, it definitely will. But
Mm.
I just like I'm so worried. I look at something like Rust, and I'm so worried that if I play it right now, when the game's complete, I won't give a fuck. I won't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Two things. One, chat saying that it sold 750,000 copies roughly, so he's made at least $21 million.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Which I knew it
considering
was a lot,
costs
but
and
I didn't want
whatnot,
to give
but
a
still.
yeah. I didn't want to give a untrue cost. The second thing is like, and I actually had this conversation with my roommate. Like, it's fucking insane to me how many games right now that people are playing and how many games that people are talking about are games that are in either early access on Steam, beta of some sort, or like super early alpha that everyone's paying to play. Like it's this weird thing where games are coming out that you are paying the developer to help finish.
Yep.
And it's kind of shitty
Well,
thinking about it.
it's
But it's also
even
kind of cool.
it's yeah, I every single case is different for me. I look at something like Wasteland 2 and I'm like, "Oh my god." I don't care if I'm getting an incomplete game. I want to play the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you look at something like Rust or Daisy and I'm like, I feel like I want to wait because that's one of those games that's like you only get one chance. Right? Like for me, if I have a bad experience with it because it's an early game, I will be less likely to go back to return to it. So it's a double-edged sword, man, and it's walking a real fine line. And someone else in chat said, I hope that putting out betas better not become the trend in 2014. And the sad truth to it all is that became the trend in 2013. Look at
Yeah.
the amount of titles. Like just self-reflect about how many titles you played that were in an incomplete form or that were beta. And my list is fucking long. Real,
Yeah, it's
real,
super
real
long.
long. So that's crazy.
I saw someone bring up the fact that like in early 2000 and probably for a couple of years later, like demos were the big thing, right? And that now like there's no longer demos because the AAA studios or really any studios, it's just not worth the time it takes to make a demo that is like polished and
Yeah.
it is well done. And now it's actually like the day of demos is all practically dead. Like sure, there's a couple that come out every now and then. One of them I played this past week, but it's all now like beta or alpha, and it's all like play, or it's like buy the game and get into the alpha. That level of kind of exclusivity has always existed, but it's always been rare enough to where you can't buy in.
Yep.
You just have to get lucky or know someone to be able to get into these betas. And now developers are realizing that there's like this mystique that people will want to buy into to play the game right now. And it's kind of dirty. Like, but it also at the same time it's not because like otherwise we wouldn't be playing DayZ right now. We would have been waiting another 6 or 7 months while everyone played it internally and had like the time of their lives, and no one would know about it.
Yeah.
So
And as that increases, that we've gotten really lucky. There's been some games that have been like mind-blowing early access adventures or plays. And
yeah,
there's been some real shit too. Some real
yeah,
like this game is obviously not done. And there's going to be more and more shit as more companies do this. But, on the flip side, let's just hope that the good ones rise to the top. And I think they will. This is still a self-policed and very community driven, right? If a game is
sure,
good, the word will get out, regardless of whether it's early access or not. So, anyway, we
yeah.
might talk about that a little bit more when we open up the phone lines, if that actually happens. But
Perfect example is War Z. Shit game
right,
came out in beta. Everyone knew it was shit. They fucking had to change their name because everyone knew it was shit. And it's still shit game, and no
yeah.
one plays it for the most part. So it's one of the ones that like fell to the side because it's terrible. And it's not fun at all.
So you have to have some confidence that we'll be
But
able
people
to
bought into it. They
wade
made
through.
money from us,
They
which is
did.
kind of the shitty part.
They did.
So it comes at a cost, I guess.
At what cost? All right. So this happens every once in a while, JP. Someone's like, "Hey, if I gift you a game, will you play it on the stream?" And normally I'm like, I don't want to feel like I have an obligation to do anything like that, especially like what if I hate this game and I just hate it. But anyway, this person, Mizzy from my stream was like, well, I want to gift you a Might and Magic Hero 6. And so
Mhm.
like at first I just kind of like ignored it. I'm like, I don't want to. And then And then I saw them talking about it in the channel. And as I'm looking further and further, I figure out, oh, it's like a tactics game. It's not what I thought it was, and that it was actually akin to another game that I'm somewhat fond of called King's Bounty, which is a series that you can get actually for pretty cheap on Steam. But it is a full-on tactics game. And this one has sort of like overworld city building aspects to it as well. And fucking JP, oh my God,
Sucked
dude.
in.
Just like.
I saw you playing it the
Sucked
other
in.
day, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Oh,
what?
shit.
You know who's actually the biggest fan of those games? And you probably would expect this. Fucking Sean loves those games.
Yeah.
Like, they are his favorite games apart from StarCraft.
It's
I think he's played Mind Magic 6 or something like an incredible amount of time.
and it's so like it's so I'll at least show it up on the stream so people
Sure.
can get an idea too. It is so like someone else was saying it in the thing. Like I was like, okay, guys, I'm gonna quit the stream and stop it right here. And then I would click on my screen and I would go to this next place and I'd like fight a monster and then I'd be like, oh, well now I can go over here and fight this one. And someone's like, yep, one more turn. What? And that's what I kept on saying to myself over and over, just one more turn. Just like I'm gonna play.
Huh.
I'm gonna do one more turn. So the way that it works is I'm currently playing in the campaign. Sorry, my mouse is going crazy here. What the mouse? I'm currently playing in the campaign. The game is gorgeous looking, which is one of the things you're going to notice right away. I've played it in King's Bounty. Like those games are. Actually, the best comparison I can make is that King's Bounty is to League of Legends as Heroes or Might and Magic Heroes is to Dota 2. Dota 2 Heroes of God damn it, Might and Magic Heroes has a very like a very polished sort of darker look to it all, whereas like King's Bounty is a bit more like it pops a little bit more. So as you play through and you visit all these different areas and you fight these monsters and you collect resources and then you go back to this place and you level up your city, which allows you to get more army, more units. So it is sort of like a turn-based real-time strategy in a way. And when I say turn-based, it's just that as days progress, that's sort of the measurement of time and turns that you can make.
Sure is a pretty game.
It really is gorgeous, man. The story is a little ridiculous, but it's not.
You're not playing for the story, though.
Exactly. I'm playing for the advancement, to increase the size of my army, to go in and to kick these guys' ass. There's one thing about it, though, and like, imagine, JP, that every game gets 3 strikes. And after that third strike, like I'm asking myself, am I really going to finish this game? Or am I really like, is what I'm doing right now worth it for me to keep playing this game?
Sure.
And they have these fort battles, right? Like imagine that everything takes place on a very standard, in fact, maybe I can just load up some of my VODs. Everything takes place on a very standard, like tiled board. You know, what you would expect in a tactics game, right? But the like fort assaults have this giant building in the middle of the in the middle of the stage, which you have to siege down to get through. The problem is that like sometimes the game just won't have a lot of ranged units for you. So if the opposite guy has a shitload of ranged units and he can just hit you for free and it's not that big of a deal, it becomes really frustrating because you have to use cheesy fucking tactics to win.
Sure.
And I don't want to play the game to deploy cheesy tactics. And I want to play the game because, I find it, I find that tactics aspect and the strategy of it intriguing. And so that is a little bit frustrating overall. But have you ever played any of these?
No, I've always looked at them from afar, and that's all I've done. Like, I don't know what. I guess what turns me away from is the fact that they actually just look too complex. Like it looks like so much of a system to learn. And like I was totally into it when I was watching you play. And then you got into a fight and I was just like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like I don't want to learn all this shit." Like it
There,
looks like such a long system to learn.
you know what? I won't lie. I was feeling the same way. I'm like, oh my God, what skills do I get? What do I do
Yeah.
here? What do I? And I have to say, this is where chat is a blessing, right? Because I could have
Could use
looked
that
up,
then. Yeah.
I could have gone and read FAQs and getting started, all that shit. But chat was really helpful in saying, hey, you might want to look at this skill, check it out. Actually, I'm perfect timing because I just loaded in one of these fort battles, and you can see how stupid it is. But if you like strategy games, and it even is like, it's not as meticulous as something like a StarCraft, but it still has energy or sort of resource management and army management and placement, and that aspect of it is really great.
Huh.
So if you've played a King's Bounty game, it looks like maybe I stopped before I went in there. But if you played like a King's Bounty game, then you might you might actually really enjoy something. I see. I hate fort battles so much that I said fucking I'm taking a break, and I never actually fought the fort battle until after the break. So I'm trying to find it, but yeah, it's one of those. I have been surprised, and it's not very often that a game totally sucks me in, and suddenly I'm like, oh, here's a million hours put into it. But this game is sucked out an enormous amount of time, dude.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I might pick. I might look at it. I don't know if I'll jump into it right now. It seems like a big commitment
It
in
was
terms of
on
a game.
Steam sale for $10, so anyone that picked it up
So what
during
is
that
it
time.
normally like $30?
Actually, I'm not sure, but you know what? We could probably
Yeah, I
take a
could
look
probably
at
just
it.
look.
But
Um,
very tactics driven, and the campaign is huge. It is like for
is
ten
it real long?
bucks. Oh, for $10, there's a lot. JP, there's a lot of content. But you know what? It's also something where it's like I felt like I could play through one of the chapters of the campaign, be like, that was a solid, 1 to 3 hour gameplay
That's
experience,
good.
and now maybe I'll do that in another few days. So, oh yeah, that's the other thing too. A lot of people have been commenting about the third version of this game. Like,
Right. I see in the chat a lot of people are saying like five is better than four, four is better than
yeah, and
six,
three is the best, and
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 three is
so
always the best.
but that was all like 2D, but people swear by some of these games.
I think three is the one that Sean always
You
would
know
tell me
what?
about.
I bet you it is. I bet you it is. And apparently, like it did get a little meticulous with the way that the units worked, and how you actually got units back and forth. Holy shit, I'm looking at some screenshots, man. And for 2D games, some of this stuff looks pretty intense. I also see that they have the crappy little fort battles that I hate. God, I just don't understand those. And maybe they are different later on, but holy shit, like there's some. Well, I'm sure that's just like a.
Hom 3 is a pretty old game. Came out in 1999. It actually does look pretty good though.
Yeah, I mean, for what it was, for like an in-depth tactic game,
Yeah.
I'm somewhat
The
impressed,
pixel
man.
art looks pretty good.
I'm somewhat impressed. And then, of course, so I mean, obviously, the engine's a huge level up.
Yeah, I don't know why I skipped over those games or why I've always. I guess I've just turned off by the complexity, at least by the look of it. But maybe one day I'll go back and play it. I've kind of been on the same trip, and I've talked about it a lot before, so I won't spend too much time. But I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 1, and
Ah, yeah.
like I'm still enjoying the shit out of it. Uh, I I post videos of that every day on YouTube, and I think I'm on like part 16. So
So
each
is it the enhanced edition that you're playing?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Baldur's Gate 1 Enhanced Edition. And then I picked up Baldur's Gate 2 on Steam sale over the holiday break for like $5 or
What
$6
what do
or
you
something.
what do you think about the whole space bar to stop time and like, set
I
your
mean,
turn?
it's very old school. I think that it's like imperative in those games. If I didn't have that, it would be you would have to have like
Chaos.
PM of StarCraft to like, keep up
Right.
with all the shit happening. But it's basically like I'm playing a single player or like a single person can't D&D campaign. I mean, it's exactly what it is. Like I have my characters that I've already chosen. I keep getting items. It's got that loot feel to it that I love because I'm a loot whore through and through. Like that's why I play WoW to this day, is because I enjoy loot and I enjoy getting a stronger character and having that like feeling of power.
Right.
That's what Baldur's Gate gives you. Uh,
And what
like
would you? So did you? You never played the original,
I
or
never. So I think I played Baldur's Gate 2, but I was like early. I think I was probably like 13 or 14 when Baldur's Gate 2 came out because I remember Minx and Boo, and I remember being in this shitty fucking dungeon. And maybe it was the tutorial. I skipped the tutorial in this one and opted just for the main story. And it was definitely cool, but I just didn't have the patience for it back then because there is definitely a lot of like learning the system. Like it's a very, very system heavy game, much like Might and Magic. But I think the reason I was so interested in it is because I've played a second edition D&D game, like tabletop game. So I'm familiar in some sense to what's actually going on in the game because it uses like very archaic systems like Fate goes in there,
oh yeah,
AC actually goes up. Like it's very, very
yeah.
old school
You know,
stuff.
hearing you say this because you appreciate that aspect of Baldur's Gate, I have to agree with what some of the folks in chat are saying. I think you would like Might and Magic
I
Heroes.
probably would.
Yeah,
I probably
I do. I do. So
I
anyway,
probably would. I just right now I've got
yeah,
too
dude.
much of the like systems on my mind. I don't know if I could jump into another one and still keep up with the current one.
I
But
hear
yeah,
you.
Baldur's Gate's one. So one thing that I actually didn't put on my list, and I can't believe it, um, through all like the game of the year deliberations, all the podcasts that I listened to, and all the lists that were out there, I kept seeing Call of War as Gunslinger pop up, and it was on sale on Steam for like $7.50, and I was like, what the hell? Like it's not much. I've heard the game's a lot of fun, and I think I think it was actually Total Biscuit that was speaking most highly of it recently. That it was stuck in my head, and I picked the game up, played on New Year's Eve. Actually, I started at like 3 o'clock, and man, I was fucking
Wait
blown
a
away at
second.
how good
Is
that
it?
game.
It looks like it has Borderland. Wait.
It's got like the cell shaded look to it.
When did this come out?
Yeah, it came out in 2013. It was actually incredibly well reviewed. I don't know if it sold very well, but man, that game's actually fucking so much fun. And it does the way that that game ends because it's a $15 game. It's always been a $15 game. It's not a full on production. It's made by I think they're a Polish studio. Ubisoft published it. Um, the story in it is fantastic, but the game doesn't overstay its welcome. Like had it been 30 minutes more in the actual story, I probably would have been bored and frustrated with the game. But like it's just the amount. It's probably like a 5 hour game in total. It's just the amount of time to enjoy the game. And I gotta say, like the gunplay in this game, it does a very good job of making you feel like a badass. But it also like for someone that played Quake 3 a long time ago, it like brings out that Twitch feeling
Dude,
of shooting.
I'm playing the fuck out of this, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have
honestly,
this.
like, I cannot believe I didn't know that this game had this style of graphics.
Yeah, it looks really good. And the story stuff is awesome. So like the game, you are someone named Silas Greaves. You're kind of an outlaw, a bounty hunter, and there's a bunch of Western, like it revolves around the Western tall tales, the Sundance, um, what the fuck is his name? The Sundance Kid, I think. I for some reason I'm blanking. Uh,
Butch
Jesse
Cassidy?
James, Butch Cassidy. They're all in there. They're all in the game.
Okay.
And it centers around like you walk into this bar and you're basically telling the story to the bar patrons. And like as you're walking around into the game, it's got that Bastion type narrator to it where it's describing stuff that's happening to you in front of you. And like someone will say like, "Oh, and so was there, but I heard that he did this," and he's like, "Well, you heard wrong," and like the story will actually the graphics will actually change in front of you, and like things will pop into place as he's describing it.
Oh, that's awesome. That
And it
sounds
does
cool
it,
as hell.
it even does stuff where like the narrator says keeps going off and he's like, "Well, I went down this cave tunnel." And then it has like this very heroic act at the end of it where you do like this crazy jump off thing and it's very like twitchy and it's like, but then that would have been a stupid idea because I would have died. And like it reverses everything that you just did and you start back at like this other point and then you go like down a different path.
That I'm.
It does and it does it enough
God damn it,
to
salesman
to
JP.
not like yeah, salesman JP. It does it enough to like not overstay its welcome. Like it only does it a couple times here and there. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed the gunplay in that game. Like it made you feel like a badass when you would hit these headshots. Because every time you like hit a headshot, like points flash up on the screen, and it's got that kind of positive reinforcement to it. But
I'm playing the shit out of it.
it's I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed that game. The story's good, the graphics are good. It runs on an incredibly like the PC port of it. It looks fantastic, and I was pulling like 200 or 300 FPS. Like
Nice.
it was not a system hog at all whatsoever. Um, but yeah, Call of War as Gunslinger, I was very surprised, and I'm glad that everyone talked about it towards the end of the year because it fantastic game,
Uh,
super fun.
Let me. If that was your last one, oh, actually, I want you to talk about the demo. So let me go through my last few real quick. First off, as much as I want to talk about The Wolf Among Us, we're just gonna have to wait till it's over and have like a spoilerific thing. But man,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, anyway, I finished it, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. And if you
The
watch
Wolf Among Us.
I finished the first chapter, and
Oh, okay, okay. I was
yeah,
like, how'd you get access to?
yeah, I
Dang,
wish,
it's
dude.
not
I
even ready.
wish. But I guess people, let's just say people were surprised by my response to the cliffhanger. But anyway, mobile this week,
Yeah.
Crash Bandits. Also, I should mention my game of the year, Hello Hero, got a completely like version 3.0 update. They like redid all the UI and everything.
I
It's
bet you're
great.
having fun with
Oh,
that.
I'm loving it, JP. I'm like, yay. But I did play some Super Mario 3D World with the Mini Wheat, and I gotta say, dude,
Game's fucking great,
fucking
man.
so impressed. I mean, JP, like, I kind of felt bad because there were elements that I feel like you must have missed out on, not having
Oh,
someone else to
playing.
play with. Like,
Yeah, I've
I
heard
mean,
about that.
small, but like, you remember there's in the first world, there's that level where you just go down a river on a fucking
Yeah,
dinosaur, on
on
the
the
back of a
dinosaur.
dinosaur. Like,
Oh,
dude,
okay. I know what happens with multiple
so
people.
with multiple people are doing it, what happens is everyone is controlling this dinosaur.
Right.
And
A
it's so
singular
unique,
dinosaur.
a singular dinosaur. So everyone's on the back. The way it works is that the more everyone controls in the same way, the more responsive the dinosaur actually is.
Yeah.
So for me and Minnie, we're like, I'm like, this is awesome because we actually have to work together to
Sure.
steer and, okay, left or right or go after that or jump. And you don't see that very often in games. There's a lot of little tiny things like that that make it a truly remarkable multiplayer experience while still being so fun for you as a player. Like I mentioned it, and suddenly a
Yeah.
wild mini weed appears, and so it's good. We're gonna keep playing it, but
What world are you in?
in World Two, yeah, World Two.
Okay. Yeah, the craziest part about that game is like no level is the same, man.
No, they're all different.
Every single one has like some gimmick or some hook to it that is fucking smart. Like I was listening to someone, and like you said, I missed out with the multiplayer experience. There's one level where one player has to use the Wii, like the Wii pad, whatever. I think it's called the Wii U gamepad. I always use the Pro controller for it. I didn't use the gamepad at all. Um, but as he's turning in real life, like as he's spinning in circles, the level spins for the other players on the TV. So like he is the one physically controlling the level and like making these passageways for the people playing the actual game. and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really interested to like. I want to see videos of that. So let me know when you get to that point.
Okay.
Because that like blows my mind. Like that amount of creativity
Yeah,
and
it's insanely good, and it
level
looks
design is
great. It
crazy.
actually
Oh yeah,
looks so
it's
good.
1080p 60, man. You can't. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with that.
They
I
did.
think Nintendo had like fucking a strong last month of 2013,
They
man, with
did, man.
Zelda and with Super Mario 3D World.
I hope that it will. I hope that it'll be strong. Maybe we'll talk
Yeah,
about that in our
two,
predictions a little bit.
two games more or two more games, sorry, on the Wii U, and I think it actually might be a system to buy. Like I think I'll start recommending it to people. It doesn't
Yeah,
have enough games yet, but it's
it's
getting
getting
there.
there. It's getting there.
It's
All
getting
right.
there.
Last but not least, this JRPG demo because
Yeah, so
I asked for this for Christmas because there was all this buzz about it, and then didn't realize the
didn't realize
release
that it
date I
got
was looking at was the Japanese release date. It doesn't come out over here until February,
yeah.
and that's Bravely Default.
Yeah, so Bravely
Bravely
Default came
Default.
out in Europe, I want to say towards the end of November. And it's kind of been like this, at least on NeoGAF over there, the community's actually responded to it very positively and actually reviewed quite well. Everyone said it was kind of a return to form for Square Enix, and like they nailed it again, and it harkens back to kind of the old school RPGs, and so I was pretty hyped about it, being that I play a lot of JRPGs, and I gave like Ni no Kuni probably my favorite game of 2013, and all that nonsense. And so a demo landed, and I didn't know this was coming out. I was expecting to not play it until the first week of February when it comes out here in the U.S. The demo came out, I think it was 2 days ago,
Yeah, it
3 days
did.
ago, something like that. I ended up picking it up yesterday, and we were talking about how like demos are something that don't exist anymore. They actually took a very interesting stance on it, where the demo is actually not in the full game. The stuff that you were doing in the demo is not in the full game.
But it transfers
And it
over.
transfers over to the full game depending on what you get. I think you get like special items. I'm sure people have already figured it all out. So if you want to know exactly what you get or can get, then you can go look it up on a GameFAQs or something like that. We'll have to talk about it more next week because I've only played
All right, no, that's good because
10
I'll
minutes.
definitely
Yeah.
I'll download as well. I'm all over this. I cannot fucking wait actually.
Yeah. I've played literally probably 10 minutes of this. And my 10-minute impression is that, God damn it, JRPG demos are the dumbest thing in the world, because I jump into this game. It's got a fuckload of story at the very start, like a shit ton of dialogue that you got to sit through. Granted, the game is smart that it has an like an auto continue, where you just hit a button and the dialogue, instead of having to press X every line, will just constantly come out of these characters'
Oh,
mouths.
nice.
So that's kind of cool. But I just didn't fucking have the patience, so I skipped it. And like I just wanted to see what the combat was like. And so I walked like down the right path and just got out of town immediately. The overall design is, or sorry, the town design is all right. Like the art style is definitely what I expect out of a 3DS game. It's not anything super flashy,
It's
super
on
impressive.
2DS too, guys.
Exactly. And I got out of town, and like I jumped into a fight, and I guess in the town they probably have like a tutorial or something, because I was just fucking confused,
I
dude.
can't wait to play this though. That's
I
great.
was just like looking at. I was like, the first thing they introduced you, it's like, in this game there's a high risk reward, high win, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, and you can choose to brave, or you can choose to default, and I'm like, what? And so like I get into a fight, and I'm like, attack, brave, attack. And I'm like, okay, I've done my moves. And it's like, wait, there's more. And I'm like, attack. And I hit attack probably like, I don't know, 12 times. And I still don't understand what the fuck was going on there. Because like I said, I only played 10 minutes. And then my characters would like attack these creatures. And so I don't understand the fucking system at all. There is so much thrown to you at the start of this demo that I was just like, I gotta get out of here. Like I couldn't play the game long enough to understand what the fuck was going on. Granted, that's a pretty shitty thing to bring to a show talking about video games, but I hope to go back to that. I might just wait for the full game and pick it up, and then do what I do with all handheld titles where I don't play them. So we'll see.
I will. I'll definitely give it a shot next week, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So that's good stuff. All right. Should we take our break and then come back, open the phone lines, talk about what we think might happen in 2014? Sound like a good plan?
Yeah, we got some news as well that landed this morning, so
All
I
right.
want to talk about that as well.
We'll come back with some news then, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Thanks for joining us for 8 Bits. When we return, we're going to have our second hour. So, guys, don't go away. We'll be right back.